Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again, and it's cricket episode number three. And I have the two guests with me once again, two new faces you have seen after a long, long time. But it's the debate time, and it's the topic which has been very, very fascinating since the last couple of years for us in the IPL format. That is the impact player rule. And I have the two guests with me. One will definitely speak for the topic, while the other has been speaking against the topic. So I'll introduce them. Welcome to the show, Tanish, and welcome to the show, Kushank. Firstly, Tanish, you're taking the topic for the topic of impact player, and Kushank, you're against. Firstly, let me know how is it feeling to be part of this one, a new one which you have not been part of, a cricket debate, and that too on a topic like this.
See, honestly, it would be a pleasure for me to be here, and thank you for calling me first of all. And I am thinking that it would be a healthy debate, not a sweet type of banter, and not a aggressive one like we see on the field. And looking forward for a great one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kushank, over to you. How does it feel to be part of this one?
Yeah, again, an absolute pleasure. I've been on the show a couple of times. Always a pleasure to talk cricket. And this is a new sort of a thing. Looking forward to it. And दिल्ली के लड़कियां दोनों. So probably not sweet banter. थोड़ा थोड़ा चलता है फर्क. This is one field type.
ठीक है चलो चलो चालू करते हैं. I won't keep it waiting for long. Tanish, it's you who has taken for the topic, as I said, so I'll start with you. And it is the first point you have said about this impact player rule is that the targeted switch enables or allows the players to settle himself in the mid match and play freely. If you can explain about this one and why do you agree with the statement?
See, basically, like if we take the example of a ODI cricket, let's say India is as a position of 146 for five or something like that. And if we start the impact play rule in the mid innings, or let's say in between the last 2 overs, then if any particular all rounder or some comes at that point, he can enable and he can analyze himself and he can play freely according to the situation, and by analyzing the situation he can play the shots which might be sometimes risky and sometimes crucial for the team, and he can play his part and then later on warm the bench.
Okay, but like you said about this kind of switches, I've seen Lucknow Super Giants making a little bit of Ayush Badoni. He has been that kind of an impact sub player who is coming in the last 5 6 overs and playing those kind of knocks. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, kind of like if we take a match of, like, if I'm not wrong, it was RCB versus LSG, where I guess KL Rahul didn't play as a captain and he was there as a impact sub,
Yeah,
so maybe that type of thing I'm trying to say.
yeah, just like Faf du Plessis has been doing it
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
RCB last season. Okay, fair enough. Kushang, any additions to that?
No additions, but just takes away from the essence of the game. If you can't play a full 20 over game, being on the field for both the innings, then you're not really an athlete, are you? You're coming in for 4 5 overs, and that just takes away from probably the all round skill that someone needs. And I'm not too sure if this is the way to go forward.
Okay, straight away on the face, says Kushank. I'll go with Tanish for the second point. A perfect option and advantage. Right weapon can be used in the right time to win the game, and a great dead bowler. So if you're bowling second, you can bring in a sub player, impact player as a bowler, and if you're batting second, you can have a batsman. Explain this one. Why does it give you an advantage? You're seeing an advantage. You are making a change. Similarly, the opponent team also makes a change, right?
Yeah, see, it makes an advantage. We don't know whether which player would the second team bring in. So maybe analyzing current the situation and analyzing the captain can take the step or the decision by seeing the current situation, and he can analyze it, and later on he can send the accurate player according to the situation, and he knows like which player would be crucial according to that situation.
Okay. So, Kushank, do you think there is an advantage if you bring in an impact player?
Not particularly, to be very honest. See, you are bringing in a player according to a particular situation, yes, but the other team is as well. So kind of neutralizes it. If you're chasing, trying to bring in an extra batter, but so is the opposition trying to bring in an extra bowler. So does not make a huge difference in my opinion still. And again, the current form is the best way to go because it challenges you in multiple ways, and this does not really feel right.
Does it to an extent also become a 12-man game, 12 versus 12?
Yeah, can talk about squad depth and all of that stuff, but it is about getting your tactics and strategies right and having the best 11 on the field and not really thinking about what could or could not happen with a extra player which is not playing on the given day. So I feel that having your best balanced 11 is the way to go about it and not make it more complex with who would come in and who would not.
Okay, fair enough with what Kushank has in reply. Going into the final point of Tanish, it says power test. It allows the players to test themselves in tough situations and prove their worth. If you can explain this, Tanish.
See, in this, I would go with the IPL example, because if we take the example of IPL, if a uncapped player is playing the match in or the last few overs, he can analyze the situation and then perform, which might sometimes lead to praising him on the social media and all the other platforms, which can, not in a particular season, but which can help him regularly to get the Indian cap also and something like that. So the power test also enables or allows the particular player to tell his capabilities to the team management that I can perform. So instead of the impact player sub, you can add me as a main player as well.
Okay, so those cameo knocks can bring him to be a regular starter in the playing 11 was what
Yeah.
Tanish says. Kushank, in reply to this.
That really just brings me to my point. It underutilizes talent because if you are able to be out there in the field for 20 overs and then do the role that has been assigned to you, then you are a proper player, aren't you? If you are just gonna come in for 2 overs, 3 overs, let's say if you're a hard hitter coming in at the back end, you miss a couple of deliveries and all of a sudden you're again warming up the bench. So for players who have an all-round ability, who have the ability to stay on the pitch for field for 20 overs and then come out and do their thing, that is much more valued in my opinion than just coming out and doing what your major skill set is. You have to be an all-round player.
Okay, fair enough. I'll come to your points, Kushang, very soon. But these are the 3 points which Tanish mentioned, and I think he's explained it really well. And also, Kushang gave a perfect reply. And going on to the first trivia question, the one and only trivia question is for Kushang. That is, don't you think the introduction of the impact player rule has made the game more competitive? Is it so or not for you?
Not competitive, more complex is what I would say. Harder to understand a multitude of things that you're thinking about. What would the other team do? What would I do? It should be more about. Uh, I'm sorry, you could hear me there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it goes away from, again, as that's the essence of the game. You have your first best 11 players and you compete with who has the best 11. It should not be about outside the field stuff, and this I feel brings in a lot of that. This is more fuss than anything else. Focus on your core skills and not on making it more complex and attractive for the viewers to watch.
Okay, I'll first ask Tanish your reply to this, if you whether you agree with Kushank or not. And secondly, don't you think, like he said, it shouldn't be more competitive, rather is complex, is what he's saying. But don't you think this impact player rule now rather brings the whole squad into contention, that anybody can be part of the squad? Is it?
See, basically, more than competitive, it is all about like how you perform, and not in the on the impact player basis, but also on the in the full squad. Like if you are performing for in the whole game, that's the main crucial thing. Like not the last few runs which you score for the team, but indirectly it's all about like what's your performance and what have you contributed for the team, whether it's a win or a loss. At the end, that counts, and not the stats, because stats are numbers at the end. So it's basically how you compete with within the squad, and how you perform according to your performance, and how much dedicated you are towards the team and your performance.
Okay, fair enough. We move on to the next topic, that is against the statements, and this brings Kushang into his 3 pointers, starting with lack of all round ability. You have said about this one. Please go ahead with the explanation.
I've been harping about it all through because we see with this Indian team, we do not have enough all rounders. We always try to bring someone in because there's one or two very niche players that we have. And once you have to fight for your place in the team, you know that you have to be good at everything. You need to field well, you need to contribute a bit with the ball, you need to contribute a bit with the bat. And that is where the impact player rule just dismisses everything of this sort. You're a good batter, you can sit out in the bowling innings, you can come in and bat when you want to. That makes little or no sense. Have that challenge to the player that, you know what, if you want to get into the 11, you need to be that good, you need to have all the skill sets. And this impact player rule does exactly that. Is it reduces the all-round ability that a potential player might have.
A single format player doesn't make a place in the playing 11. You're seeing multi talents like batting, bowling, those kind of players.
That is the
They
need
are
of the
lacking.
hour.
Absolutely. And Tanish, for you, I don't think that you'll disagree
Uh,
with this one because we have seen what has happened in the World Cup, does it?
Yeah, I would kind of agree with this point because at the end, all rounders are a big miss for Team India. But at the end, Impactor is all about the same. No? Like, if we are missing a particular part or if we are missing a particular puzzle, then we can add and complete the whole puzzle at the end. So it's all about how you complete a particular puzzle, and rather than making it complicated, you just fix it so that the situation doesn't occur, or even the situation occurs in future, then you are ready for it.
I
Okay.
think
So
that
so
is exactly what it does. It makes it more complicated because you'll have six batters, six bowlers, no all rounders, and now you're thinking, okay, I might not have this at international level, but I'll just have fun with it in the IPL. The viewers will be happy. I'll earn a bit of money. But then you go to international stage, you have losses such as the ones we've had in the recent past, and then you harp about Hardik Pandya is not fully fit, and then you have no all-rounders and all of that. Remove this rule. Tell them work hard on every skill set if you want to make it to the Indian team. Simple as that.
fair enough. Multi-dimensional talent is what Kushank is asking for, and I agree with this. Underutilization of potential talent. You just spoke a little bit of this one in the previous slides. Go on with it once again.
Again, as I said, if let's say let me take a couple of examples. Let's say Rohit Sharma and Steve Smith started off as off spinners. Look at the kind of batters they are right now. If someone who's starting off as an off spinner right now, he comes into the team, impact player, bowls a couple of overs, 3 overs, he'll never really know what potential lies ahead of him. Right? If he's sat out, okay, he's just a regular off spinner or a bowler who might not make it in the 11 because we already have enough spinners. Then he might look at, okay, what next for me? How can I diversify myself? Okay, maybe let me try a little bit of batting. Let me just improve on my fielding, and that just kind of it attaches me to the first point as well. Again, not only does it make you a complete player, and it utilizes your potential talent to the fullest as well, because you come on for few overs, your full talent is not on display in my opinion. So that is where you need to be in the field for 20 overs, show what commitment you have, how good a cricketing brain you have, and then your major skill set maybe batting or bowling, then you execute that.
Adding to a little bit of Joe Root, who has recently started bowling way too much in the last few months. Agree
Exactly.
with this
Yes.
one, Tanishk? Agree,
Yeah,
disagree? Your
I
point,
would
please.
agree with this point, but what Kushank said, I would somewhat disagree with this because if we take it as an example of IPL, like I won't say it is underutilization of a potential talent, because although sometimes a particular player might give runs with the ball or sometimes he might not be able to score runs with the bat, but at the end it's the captaincy thing which brings out the positive thing from the particular player. Like if the captain is leading like in a positive sense or in a in a calm mind, then in a calm situation, then the situation might be at a positive intent. Like if we take the example of MS or somewhat like Fab du Plessis or any other captain, then it is all about how the captain gives the chance to the player, whether it's an impact player or whether it's a normal player. So it all depends upon the utilization. So uh, it's at the end it's the captaincy that brings a crucial point, and that can also lead to the utilization of a talent.
And even if a captain thinks
Okay.
a player is good enough, then if he is good enough to make it to the first 11, a few failures should not keep him out for a few games. Then you give him the longer run. But what you do with this rule is you tell a player you're only good for this much. You come in, do your job, and go away, which I don't think really does a lot to his confidence.
But Gushang, don't you think that especially Indian players, they have an extra additional pressure? Just like Tanish mentioned before as well, when it came to his points that make it good so that you make a name in the social media. Don't you think the social media also puts additional pressure on the players that they have just got one chance, they have to make a mark, otherwise it's done for them.
If I'll say it, it might look bad, but deal with it. You are big superstars, future superstars of the game. You are getting paid well. It has to be in you to be able to deal with all the pressure that comes with all the money and reputation that you might get. If you're playing at the highest level, IPL is top level cricket, and then the next step is to play in the Indian team. If you're playing at that level, you need to be able to deal with pressure. You need to be able to deal with all the fame and fandom that you might get, and you need to be able to take criticism and change your game accordingly if needed. It is not about making a name on social media, getting X number of followers and branding the brand deals and all of that. It is about making sure that you perform well, and hence you will be appreciated by the people on social media. That is a secondary. You need to be able to perform well, and deal with pressure is the biggest thing, because we've come fresh from a loss to England in the last test match, and dealing with pressure is something where we have lagged consistently over the past 10, 15 years, and that is what we need to improve on. Social media is a very small part of it. Playing in front of 60, 70,000 people and 1.3 million people watching you, that is an even bigger deal.
And is one perfect example to this one is it Sanju Samson? According is what I can think of. Big fan base in the social media, but when it comes to getting opportunities, not making it count.
We have multiple players for that spot, and hence why he's not able to get that spot. If an impact player rule hota, he can come in and play 15 balls, 30 runs, where everyone is happy. But if you don't have that talent to be able to play ahead of a KL Rahul or an Ishan Kishan or a Jitesh Sharma, then you need to look at yourself and improve. Yeah, I remember one of his statements: a 100 or a 200 in every 10th game is better than a 30 every game. You need to be consistent. You need to have a good mindset. So that is very lax. He gets one odd opportunity and he's not able to perform. That is really up to him. In the IPL, you have lesser pressure because you're a short shot in the team. In the Indian team, you're
Absolutely.
fighting for it.
100% agreed with this one. And going on to the final one, Kushank, over reliance on the rule, lack of team balance. You have been saying this for the past 15 minutes. In short, if you can explain this once again.
Yeah, all of these 3 points that I mentioned, all interlinked in my opinion. And once you know that you have the coverage of one player extra who might come in once your main batters or main bowlers don't perform, you tend to not have a very balanced team. You'll play six bowlers, five batsmen in the first innings when you're bowling, and then when you're chasing, you'll bring in a batter again. No all-round ability, and then you're over relying on a potential that is still not at international level. So it, in the long run, does you no good. It all it does is, as I said, attracts viewers, something new to watch. Everyone is happy, and you earn a lot of money, and that is all that is happening. We need to look at
Okay.
international perspective and the ability to win trophies here. So that is where I
Okay.
feel the impact fair rule is just to attract people and get a bit more people cheering. Something new is here, so we'll find out what it is.
Okay, Tanish, disagree, agree for you?
See, I would kind of disagree to this statement because, as I said, it gives, though it might be somewhat a difference for the current players, but it can give a long run to the youngsters in the future. Like if a particular youngster is performing, and at the end of the day, if the captain says in the room that you have performed well, or if the team management says that you have performed so well, and we would like to try you as a main player, or we would like to give you a chance in the main squad, then it's like a promotional thing for him, na? So if he's getting promoted from impact player to the main player in the squad, then it's beneficial for him, no? So at the end, if it happens, then we can say that if in a lack of team in the under the lack of team balance, it totally gives a team balance to the team. So that's how, if he gets added to the team as a main squad, as a main player, then it would be beneficial for the team. And maybe his impact player innings, not on the basis of just one or two innings, but like for somewhat 3 to 5 innings, then he can be promoted up the order and added to the main squad.
Okay. So what I understood is that Tanish, you're somewhat agreeing to what Kushank said, except for the last point. But Kushank, you simply do not agree to what he said in the first 3 points of his. So
Just
I don't
because
declare
we
the winners.
international level, I am just absolutely against this rule. We are just importing stuff from the Big Bash and other leagues. Bat toss bhi kar lo abhi. There is not much left. Impact player and all of that is done now. So I think just play cricket the way it's meant to be played. Don't try to add stuff, weird stuff to it just to make it look more attractive. Just stick to what it is, and look at international success and not just making money, please, for once.
Okay. And moving on to the final slide, that is the question which Tanish has for you. Tanish, this is for you. This is, don't you think we lack Indian all-rounders even more since the introduction of this rule? Oh God, this is a straight question to you. Give me the answer, please.
Yeah, like as Kushank said, we have already lagged a lot in the all-rounders section rather than the bowlers, fast bowlers, and the spin bowlers. Because other than like if we take the example of Team India, then other than Hardik Pandya, we don't have any other particular player who can match his aura or something like that. Because at the end, if we are finding some, like let's say if we take the example of T20 World Cup, if Hardik is not fit by any chance, then we might have many options by name in our mind, but at the end we will have two questions: will he be able to bowl, will he be able to like defend the runs if we give a target of somewhat, let's say 150 175 plus, or let's say 200 plus? Will he be able to defend, will he be able to score against top teams or not?
Yeah.
Because scoring against Ireland, Canada is common, but at if the team is at a stage of 54 for 3 or 54 for 4, then at the end your performance is the main thing that matters. Because performing against top team is the main thing, and not performing against the small teams. So at the end we somehow lack in the all-rounders section. Because other, if we take the name of all-rounders other than Hardik Pandya, we might hear of many names, but at the end the first thing is like Hardik Pandya only. So we need to give options and all, so that the youngsters and the young generation can also come and perform and give their best for the team.
So you said about the all-rounders. So now the question of the second part of the question is that do you think that this rule is affecting the talents of the all-rounders?
Uh, no, I won't say it. Because like if we are going it along with the IPL thing, then I think then yes, that it is affecting the thing. Because uh, impact player rule is basically all about, like, it's 90% of about like a particular batter who is maybe a opener or one down or two down, and secondly it's about a fast bowler. So if we give a long run to the all rounders, then it is beneficial, like in all three stages, like for fast bowlers, wicket keepers, and all rounders as well. But if it's only meant for fast bowlers and opening batters, or just one down or two down, then it's of like 50-50 thing na? Like it might, sometimes it might work, sometimes it won't.
Okay, Kushank, for you.
Yeah, what I'm saying is IPL is enough of an exposure to see potential talent. To add this rule on top of it is a double whammy, makes no sense. अगर इतना ही आपको opportunity देना है to additional talent to people who might be sitting on the wings, add two more teams. बढ़ा दो 5 महीने का IPL करो. But don't discourage people to be all rounders. That is what we need. और pressure जो आता है, that you need to deal with. This is not about कि x number of people on social media will abuse me if I do this. So develop that mentality and the ability to work on your skill to be able to get into an IPL team at least, because you have what 8, 10 teams now, right? So if
Yeah,
you're not in the 110 players, top 110 players, let's remove foreign players and a few marquee players. If you're not able to make it to that, then you need to work on yourself a little bit and then get your chance in the IPL team as well, right?
agreed, agreed, very much agreed. And that concludes our show. I'm not the person that declares who is the winner. It's the people who watch these videos declare who are the winners. Is it for the topic, which is Tanish, or is it against the topic, which is Kushang, whose statement was correct or not? But it was a privilege for both of you guys. It was wonderful to have you guys in the show. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it. As Kushang started saying it, Delhi ka ladka hai, zyada jhagda nahi karenge. And zyada jhagda to hua nahi, but it was fun. It was awesome. And I thank both of you. And I request all the fans who have been watching this video as well, don't forget to let us know who won this, whether it's Tanish or whether it's Kushang. Let us know in the comment section as well. And if you have any additions to the impact player rule against or for, let us know in the comments as well. Thank you so much to both of you. Anything last few words for Tanish and Kushang? Anything you want to say?
I'll just say I think I won. So that is it.
Okay, that I'll leave it up to the audience. And Tanish, for you?
No, at the end it's not about winning a particular debate and something. At the end it's the cricket that is winning, so I don't mind if he also wins.
Okay, so he's been very nice to you, Kushang. But thank you so much, both of you. As I said, and all the viewers as well, don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire as well. And we will bring you once again to cricket episode number 4 very shortly. Till then, thank you so much and bye bye.